Hi, it's Rebekah here from angelfoods.net and writer of Cupcake Business in a Box. Today I wanted to show you a really quick video on how to do a cream layered sponge. Very, very easy. Perfect for Christmas or a dessert or a birthday or a barbecue. So if you come down and have a look, we're starting with a sponge. This is a vanilla sponge and I just got from my local bakery. And if you don't have a turntable, you can use a piece of baking paper, and that can act as a turntable and you don't get mess on your bench. Now we're going to do a layered sponge. So I'm going to make sure the cake's in the middle of the board. And this is just a piece of cardboard. And you want a big knife. And we're going to cut 2 layers in this cake, 2 layers of cream. And how to do it is not to cut all the way across, but just to cut a little bit in. So I'm just doing it 1/3 of the way up because I'm doing 2 cuts. And all I'm watching is this end of the knife and this sponge to make sure I'm cutting at 1 centimetre or 1/3 of the height of the cake. So you can see I'm not going all the way across the cake, just a little bit. And now I'm going a little bit further. Now this cake is cold as well, and it is much easier to cut and decorate a cake when it's cold. So you can see I'm nearly all the way through now. It's just here somewhere. There we go. And then we do the second layer. So I've gone another 1/3 of the way up the cake. I'm just cutting just slightly with this tip at that end here. It's the only place I'm watching. I'm not worried about this end because it will just follow the beginning of the knife. And I just keep spinning the cake, holding my hand on top and pushing down to give it weight. Don't put your fingers over the edge because that's how you're going to cut yourself. And you can see I'm nearly all the way through again. And there it is. Alrighty. So there's the first layer of cake, and we've got some fresh cream here. And put a nice dollop on there. So the fresh cream I've just whipped up with icing sugar. It's 1.2 litres of cream with 100 grams of icing sugar, and that just helps thicken it and sweeten it. Now I'm using an angled palette knife and just getting the cream to the edges. And then I'm also going to flavour this with some strawberries. So a strawberry cream cake is a pretty classic flavour and everyone enjoys it. So use this palette knife again and spread the jam around. And then we do our second layer. So bring your cake back over, get your second layer of sponge, then our second layer of cream. Nice big dollop of cream, and just use your palette knife to push it to the edge. And then some more cream, more jam I should say. A nice big teaspoon. So this jam is from supermarkets. It's Antooth. I just happen to really like that brand. It's quite a good jam. And then you use your palette knife again to spread that jam around. And then to clean your palette knife off, just wipe it against the back of your sponge and then pop the top on. So the sponge, you'll notice as well, is upside down. So that means this is the bottom I'm now using as the top of the cake, and that's how you're going to get the smoothest and flattest tops of your cakes. You actually use them upside down. Alright, so now I want to decorate the whole cake in fresh cream. So it is softer than using buttercream or ganache, obviously, but you just work with it. So I'm just using my palette knife to push it to the edges of the cake. Okay, so we're just to the edge now, and now I want it just off the edge of the cake. I'm not overly worried that the paper's dirty. There is some crumbs there, you could clean it up, but I'm going to be putting nuts on the edge of this cake, so you're not going to see any crumbs. Alright, so now I'm going to use the paper as a turntable and spin it around a little bit. And you can see that I'm using my palette knife just to get that cream on the sides of the cakes. So it is quite soft, like I said, the fresh cream. So just aim for a little bit on there, we might come back around and pop a bit more on there, so it doesn't slide right off. Now with your flavours of cakes, you could actually flavour the cream. So you could go mint, or you could go coffee, or you could go strawberry or lemon. And then you could go with nuts or biscuits or cookies or chocolate. There's many ways you could flavour it. Alright, so now we've got all the sides covered, but we want it just a little bit thicker where you can see some cake sponge. So I'm working over the cake so that you can see what I'm doing on this side, but I normally work at about 9 o'clock. Alright, so there's a fair bit of sponge showing there. So all I did was push a bit off the top of the cake, because there's heaps of cream up the top, to cover up that cake. It's a bit hard for me to see over there. There we are, that's pretty covered. Alrighty, so now that looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to wipe off the back of my palette knife so it's clean. And now we're going to aim for the top to be a little bit neater. So we're using your tip of your palette knife, and we're going from the outside just to the centre, outside in. So you never go all the way across a cake. Alright, so you can see that there's some icing or cream missing here, so I'll put more on my palette knife, put it backwards and forwards, and then from the outside in. That's how you fix something like that. Alright, so I'm going to spin my palette knife all the way around to try and get neater edges, and then again outside in. Alrighty, now we're going to be doing some rosettes on here, and we're going to be putting nuts on the side. I'm going to be putting chocolates in the centre, so we don't actually need it to be perfect. I'm quite happy with that, as long as all the sponge is covered on the outside, which it is. Alright, now I'm using my palette knife to pick it up, because that cake board was only just the right size. And now I'm going to bring my nuts over. These are some roasted peanuts I bought at the supermarket, and I bought them purely because they were really, really cheap. They're $1.40 a packet. You probably only need one packet. I do have 2 packets in here, and I roasted them in the oven. So nuts are more beautiful when you roast them because they bring out the natural oils rather than a raw. So these were peanuts. You could use almonds, slivered almonds, or sliced almonds. You could use hazelnuts. You could use cookie crumb. You could use chocolate shavings on the side, hundreds and thousands, sprinkles. And I'm just grabbing a big handful over a big bowl and letting them drop back in. And I'm not actually touching the cream. And you just keep spinning the cake in your hand. You get used to how a cake weighs and feels, so you get more confident that you won't drop it. And I took the nuts all the way out to the edge. That looks pretty coated. And now I'm going to finish it off on top of my serving tray. Just get rid of those nuts. Now to get it down the serving tray, just use your palette knife again. I'm aiming for the centre and place him down. Now we're going to do some pretty rosettes. So I'm going to use my piping bag. Get rid of those nuts off me. So the piping bag is a professional Tonkin canvas one. I've talked about these before, they're my favourite. And I'm using a star nozzle, which is a number 11. I like the large numbers because it's much easier to get a prettier pipe. So then to fill the piping bag, just roll the edges down so they're like having a handle, and then we're going to fill it up with cream. So most people just half fill a piping bag, don't overfill it because that's when the cream comes spilling out of the top. Alright, so you can see it's half filled there. You roll the sides back up again, it's only half full, just perfect. And then you spin the top, whoops, and then the cream comes out. Alright, so now he's ready to lock and load. So when I'm piping, I pipe on top of a cake. I start at 12 o'clock. And we're going to do some simple rosettes. So this is what I taught you in the cupcake decorating tutorial. So 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Then I'm going to go 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And then we're going to stick 2 in between each. So 1, 2. And the trick with rosettes is just a nice, even, constant pressure. And even if it doesn't look like the rosette's going to fit, it will. It always does. Just keep squeezing. I'm just trying to do the same motion and they'll all look pretty uniform then. So you can see it doesn't look like a rosette will fit, but it will. So that's really pretty. And then I'm going to finish it off with some strawberries. I've got some strawberries I washed and cut in half here. So you could finish these rosettes off with lollies or chocolate curls or someone cut, maybe not. Or nuts would be perfect. And the centre, again, it doesn't matter if it's perfect, you can cover it up with chocolate drizzle or shavings or fruit. And here I'm just going some chocolate pieces because you can't go wrong. So you can see I've got another cake over here. This is just a small 6-inch round. This is a 10-inch round. I've decorated that with sprinkles. So it's more of a kids' party one, whereas this is more of an adult cake. I'll just stick all of those on. Alrighty, so that was a quick video on doing a cream layered cake. I hope you enjoyed. See ya.